Peace and blessings and namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I'm going to come across as jovial as I can, but this is a rut roll message, and I'm going to expose some things that is going on with me. Remember the last time I told you that I was forced through an ascension. Okay. Typically I'm the one on the ground just helping, cleansing, helping, purging, helping, praying for my brothers and sisters, helping those of us who have come here on this in this realm to do a work, get the work done. But the last time I was forced into an ascension myself, and I told you I didn't understand my new gifts, and so I'm starting to see them a little bit, and I'm hoping to send this transmission out for others of you who have been experiencing this or understand this or what this could possibly be. If you want to email and share me your insights with it, and it is Dragonlotusms at yahoo.com, Dragonlotusms at yahoo.com. All right, so I'm just going to jump right into it. This is going to be a rut roll for some people. If it wasn't important for me to say, I wouldn't be saying it. All right, and this isn't for the meek. I mean, the if you're lighthearted, it might come across a little disturbing to you. Okay, if you have been walking in your divinity for a while, this is going to be nothing to you. Okay, you're going to say, hey, I've had that happen. I know what that is. All right, so let's just go. All right, we're going to start with yesterday. Yesterday, I was completely out of gas, right? And I was headed into work, and I had to stop at a gas station. I had to stop at the gas station, fill the tank up so I could get to work. And I'm in the line right behind a gentleman in a red shirt, black jeans, okay? Maybe in his 40s and his 50s. He was a black male, okay? And behind me, maybe it was about 3 or 4 people. And then while we were in line, and I'm getting in the line to go ahead and pay for my gas, another gentleman comes in, and he's wearing a red shirt too, but he has on American flag type shorts, okay? Another black gentleman, a little bit older than the previous one, so this one may have been maybe in his 50s. And as we're in line going to pay for the gas, and this gentleman is walking this way, they apparently knew each other, right? So they started talking across the line, and I was listening. I was eavesdropping a little bit because they were talking about having wisdom tooth pulled, and he was telling the other guy, how that experience was, and it became a little bit amusing. But I wasn't giving them eye contact. I was just, listening and looking around, that type of thing. But it was amusing, so the smile started coming across my face. The gentleman that was in front of me, he turned around, and I guess acknowledging that I giggled a little bit. And when he turned around and he looked at me, he did this, like he shimmied, like he or shivered, or I don't know, that thing people do, like if they just feel cold or something, he did that, and then he just blurted out, "And you're beautiful too." And so when he first said that, the first thing I did was look around. I wanted to know who he was talking to. He wasn't talking to me this entire time. So, "And you're beautiful too." And then I realized that he was looking at me, and the people that were behind me were looking at me. And then his friend that he was talking to about the tooth just busted out laughing. Like it was random and it was loud. Okay, it was loud to the point where not only was I embarrassed, but he was embarrassed, and his friend just thought it was funny, and the people behind me was just looking around like that was nice and random, So I watched him go through, put his money at, like right after he blurted it out, he gave his money, and then he just walked out. So I walk up and I give my money for gas, and I'm walking out too, and I just kept replaying it over and over again, and then I realized that wasn't him speaking. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you how I got to this realization. After this last ascension, I have found myself zoning in and out. Okay, and I can control it. I started experiencing this in maybe about 2021. Okay, zoning in and out, meaning I'm talking to you. We're having a one-on-one conversation, and simultaneously, I'm also having another conversation somewhere else. Okay, and I was able to bounce back and forth and have these conversations. So sometimes people are talking to me, and I'm staring into like their eyes, just I'm not there because I'm holding another conversation about something that's going on, and then I'll come back. Okay, so when this guy just blurted out, "And you're beautiful too," I realized that that wasn't him speaking. That something infiltrated that consciousness at that time and blurted that out as if we were already in a conversation. Okay, and I could also tell that he didn't know where it came from because he did that shivering thing, and then he just left out. Now, what makes this a little bit unique from what I was experiencing in the past is I didn't know that I had a gift to pull out the higher self or the lower self, depending on the being that I'm dealing with. And typically, if I meet someone, and they're dealing with a one-on-one session, and I touch them or put mudras on certain parts of their body, I can call forth whatever is in, the higher self or the lower self that will come out and start speaking. And sometimes they be speaking nonsense. I've had an entity say, "Why do you care now? You never cared before." Things like that just does not fit the character of that person. But what seems to be happening now is it's very random. Like I'm not talking to these people. I'm not interacting with these people. They just turn on. There was another instance, at work where somebody that I was talking to, about the phones ended up just kind of snapping, and head was ticking a little bit as they were talking to me very negatively, and then realized later on what they were saying, and then came back and started being pleasant. It wasn't the character that I was used to this person operating in. And so what I'm seeing is now it doesn't have to be me actively interacting with someone for them to come out. You know, that gentleman, I can tell that he was confused by his own words, by the way that he left. And me, all I could do was blush because it was loud. It was loud and it was random. Okay? And it just made no sense to have that. And you're beautiful too. There's some pieces of that conversation that's missing. It wasn't that he just turned around and said, "Hi, ma'am, you look nice today," or this, that, and the third, or just randomly giving a woman a compliment. But this was a completely different being that decided to speak through the consciousness of this vessel. And that's happening a lot. And I guess I'm a little weirded out about it, okay? But I'm trying to train myself to adjust to now understanding that the vessel is the vessel, and there are certain entities that my presence just either disturbs or brings joy to, okay? Just being around. But the one thing that I am hoping for many of you is that the same thing happens too. You don't deserve to be around falsehood and people that are wearing masks, that they expose themselves every single time. Okay, and so right now I'm in the vein of exposing those unintentionally. Okay, it's not something that I set out to do. Another thing that I realized was happening a little bit differently is this I think is the hardest pill to swallow for me on this journey. I have come to the realization that I will never meet some of you face to face. I will never physically meet you. And some of you who I have met face to face, I might not ever see you again. Before you go out and judge what it is that I just said to you, I want you to consider some people that were very strongly a part of your life. When was the last time you physically saw them? When was the last time you physically touched them or held them? When was the last time you got a hug? When was the last time you saw somebody face to face, somebody that you may have grown up with or been around your entire life just seemed to vanish? They're no longer there. And the only way that you're able to stay in communication with said person is through broadcasts and transmissions, through FaceTime and electronics, but you don't have that intimate one-on-one with them. And as I was being shown why this was happening, that's when I realized what it really meant to be set apart. We have an idea, when we're growing up in religion of what it means to be set apart. And typically you're taught that, it's the Holy Spirit, and it might be the Holy Spirit. I don't know. But what I'm saying to you is there's always a law of correspondence, as above and so below type concept. When I had somebody targeting me on one of my YouTube videos, I had to explain to even that person that any spiritual or energetic concept that is being transferred over into a material world has to materialize. That's the only way the material world can gain the understanding. Okay? So, if the case is that we are set apart spiritually, then it transfers over now to being set apart physically. And I'm starting to see why I had to go into isolation, why I had to be separated from a lot of situations, from a lot of places, from a lot of things so that I can grow. That's what being set apart really is. I'm here to tell you that if you have found yourself in a position very similar where all of a sudden you're just set apart, you're taken out of a situation, you're taken out of a position or a group or a dynamic of some sort, and you're in isolation, stay. Don't go back. Okay? There's a reasoning for that. And sometimes you are in the way of what judgment needs to come. You're in the way of somebody else's judgment. Or you'll end up being a part of that judgment. So when God pulls you out, when the Most High pulls you out, when Source pulls you out of something, you need to stay put. Okay? So that whatever has to be done or dealt with does not affect you. I realize that I'm not going to see a lot of the people that I hold very, very dear to me face to face. And some I still will, because you're right along with me, family. You're right along with me. But really do that. Do that reflecting and say, when was the last time I saw such and such? When was the last time I saw this person or that person? Heaven. Another thing that I realized was happening is when it now comes to making decisions, like hard decisions, justice decisions, dilemmas that I may come across, and I was so used to dealing with the ascended masters and saying, hey, this is my issue here, that one way I feel this and one way I feel that, what say you? Now they're just starting to nod their heads. And so I started inquiring to the divine, like, where is my advice? Come on, I'm still here. I'm still broadcasting here. And they're turning back over all of my decision makings to me. They tried to do this in the past, and I wouldn't allow it. Okay? I wouldn't allow it because I personally, I don't feel like, I have developed enough to be able to do this without any type of assistance. I'm still lean very heavily on my team, on my family, just getting other perspectives and trying to balance. And they will still give me other perspectives, but they will not tell me what needs to be done about it. So I'm being pushed a lot harder now to operate as a logos in my sovereignty, to make decisions of justice when it was so easy. And I became so accustomed to, this is what's happening. I'm going to turn it over to God and let him deal with it. Okay? All I'm going to do is continue to walk in my joy and my peace. But now it's not like that. Now I have to make decisions about things pertaining to my own life, pertaining to the people that I care about, pertaining to balancing, pertaining to justice, things like that. Um, was I prepared for that? No. No, 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 no. And if I can get away with it, as long as I can get away with it, of pulling on my spirit team, I'm going to. Trust me, I'm going to milk that for everything that is worth, because, nobody wants to really make bad decisions. But as I was hearing from, the divine, like, you've been through everything already, and the way that you handled gave you this. You're free. You've been free. You've been free from this for a while. We just had to get you to see it, that you're capable of making these decisions. So they're going to be around to protect. They're going to be around to present, but they're not going to help me make decisions. I have to do that now. I still appreciate the protection though. And everything that I want for myself, I want for you guys as well. I want you to start paying attention to the people around you. It's easy to miss. It really is. But spiritual eyes, spiritual ears allows you the ability to see beyond what is seen, to see beyond the eyes, okay? To understand that when somebody blurts out something to you, who was that really? Okay, when somebody's talking to you and their head is ticking and you're automatically thinking, oh, that person may be having Tourette's, Tourette's syndrome, but when they walk away from you, they're fine. They're not ticking with anybody else, they're only ticking with you. All right? Part of being turned over to operate and make my own decisions is that I realized that many of you, my brothers and sisters, okay, those of you who came out here and all you wanted was good, that's all you wanted to do was make a change, you're needing more protection, okay? Some of you have vultures circling you. Another thing that happened yesterday, is while I was driving and I was listening to a video, the words was coming across thief, thief, thief. And so tapping in, that's something else that is going on too. Some of the things that are happening when I'm zoning out, like when I'm talking to you and I'm zoning out, I'm seeing random images of things. Like one day I saw somebody that I'm looking through their eyes, like they had Chinese food, but it was the fried chicken and rice, okay, and they were wiping the rice off of the chicken before they ate it. Like, I will see random images of things like that. I saw an image of somebody having a wonderful time in a sexual experience. And I'm like, okay, why am I seeing that? You know what I mean? I will see random people sitting over dinner, talking, random conversations, some of those things as if I'm navigating or tapping into different levels of consciousness or different people and seeing things the way that they are seeing things, and then I'll come back. Now, this is not something that I can control. This is not something that I'm aware of, how I'm able to do that. I'm still very much, to me, in childlike mode, my ancestors seem to think differently. They seem to think that I know all of these things, and maybe it's just not translating here with me, because I'm still finding myself asking a lot of questions and trying to figure out how I'm doing these things. What is this that I'm watching? So for some of you, oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, thief. So there is distortion, amongst us, okay? And we pull that into some of our consciousness energetically, okay, through energetic exchanges that we thought was just normal, but some things have lashed on to certain individuals. And what I'm seeing is, and I kept hearing the song "There's Thieves in the Temple," and that was by Prince. That used to be an old song by Prince, and I will urge you, if you've never heard of it, to pay attention, to go back and listen to that song and listen to the lyrics of that song. Love, come quick. Love, come in a hurry. There's thieves in the temple tonight, and they don't care. And I started seeing that, some masculines, not just the masculines, but even some feminines, like you were literally in camp, in partnerships with people that were your enemies. And they may not have started off as being your enemies, but they got polluted, corrupted in some kind of way. Oh my God, pay attention. Some of you better check to see if there's life insurance policies out on you. You better see it, because some have plans to take you out of here and benefit off of your hard work. Now, this could be energetically, this could be spiritually, this could be financially, okay? Just figure it out. Pay attention during this time. The reason why it's important, and I kept saying use discernment during this time, is because energies are here, okay? Pay attention to the clone armies. Now, we got Clone Wars and stuff over Star Wars, and you see, that they're this little robots or clones of a specific person. But I want you to pay attention to the things that are around you. That we're talking about this condensed matrix type of realms. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm channeling at this time, and I'm getting ready to start sweating. So there are when you pay attention to just media, YouTube, government, things that are around you, pay attention to the clone. And what I mean by clone is you're going to see cookie cutter images, your messages, things like that are being broadcasted to you. You know that you are set apart because it's not going to resonate with you. Okay, you've heard it all before, you've seen it all before. I started paying attention to like a lot of the thumbnails, on YouTube and things like that, and I started noticing patterns that everybody was doing the same thing. They're looking like this and saying, you need to do this, raise this now. This is the catalyst of now. Like, they're giving these speeches, and they're meant to make you feel good, but are they practical? Okay, that's what you have to start asking yourself. I am challenging you to higher levels of thinking now, okay, to get past this matrix illusion that has come over this realm, okay, and it's a very, very strong illusion, and as a matter of fact, it's so strong that many of you have actually lost yourselves in it, okay, and it's time for you to come back, because the divine is saying, mask off. It's time for the mask to come off. Okay, so this is going to be exposure. This is either exposure in a positive light of who you really are on the inside, getting ready to magnify, or if you're on the negative polarity, it's like who you really are is getting ready to be exposed to. Okay, mask off, mask off. That's what I'm hearing, mask off. London bridges are falling down. Okay, so things that people have built, off of falsehood, it's going to be exposed now. There's a reason why many of you, especially my family that I've been talking to have started coming out with your YouTube channels, like really, really bold. I'm encouraging you, keep going. I don't care what the numbers look like, just keep going. You have to, okay? There are certain algorithms on this realm that are designed to promote a certain line of thinking and suppress another. All right? So, if you are a part of the clone army with the clone thumbnails that is teaching a clone ideology, you're going to go past, okay? You're going to have big numbers and big views and things like that. But if you are a being of a logos or a being of sovereignty, okay, yours might be suppressed, all right? You can push past this, okay? Always pray to draw unto you who you need, okay? Don't worry about the numbers, okay? Because trust me, I'm still of the mindset, more money, more problems, okay? The bigger you are, the more issues, okay? The more of a target that you become. So when you're praying over your YouTube channels, when you're manifesting your Instagrams or anything that you're doing that you've been feeling like you have been called by the divine to do, make sure you say a prayer to let those come that's supposed to be there. Reject those who are not. Okay? And when you have the mindset that I am drawing unto me those that need to hear versus I'm trying to reach everybody, your channel, your platforms will become a lot more pure. Okay? Get out of the vein of thinking that, there's powers in number. There's strength in numbers, not power. Power comes from authenticity. Power comes from intention. All right? Strength in numbers, but power in intention. Discern the difference. Okay? For those of you who feel energetically that there's something wrong, you're right. There is. Okay? The clone army. This is a spiritual caste system that is part of the matrix. Okay? But it's not being presented to you. Okay? There was a channel, and I don't call people out. You know what I mean? I don't want to. For what? I'm not going to get any pleasure from that anyway, one way or the other. But this was years ago too. Maybe about 4 years ago. There was somebody that I was watching very, very, very closely. Okay. And this person got really, 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 really big. I mean, big. I mean, like, oh my God, going out and doing seminars, TED Talks, things of that nature. This person was, and they were such eloquent of speech that it was easy to be drawn in, And I would pay attention to this person and start to try to think like this person thought. And this person kept putting out there that we create in the vortex, the vortex of creation, the vortex of this, the vortex of that. And I remember watching one of the seminars and somebody raising their hand and saying, okay, so how do we get to the vortex? And this person couldn't answer that. It's just a place. It's just an idea. Y'all better be careful of people giving you dreams or selling you ideology that they can't teach you how to use. Do you understand? That's no different than a motivational speaker. If somebody's going to give you an ideology about something, they have to make it practical. They have to have used it. So this right here goes on and on and on, and these people spend a whole lot of money trying to figure out how to crack this code that doesn't even exist. The person that was speaking it could not tell you how they could do what they do. But it's easy for you to fall in line with and believe because you're looking at the lifestyle. Okay? And the lifestyle look grandiose. Oh, if they did it for them, then I can do it for me too. But you're failing to see one important principle. The reason why they have the lifestyle is because you are supporting it. Not that they're blessed. Not that they are divine. Okay? The lifestyle, the glitz and the glamour is off the back of the people. Small-minded. People capitalize on the pain of others who simply just want to better their lives, better their existence. They capitalize on that. Your suffering, your pain, your wanting to make something happen, you're wanting to manifest something becomes food for them, and you'll keep supporting it. That's why they have the lifestyle. They're not touched. Because surely somebody who is really touched, look at the patterns from eons and eons and eons. They are typically the target. They're typically the suppressed. They are typically the ones that are struggling to get things done. And it's not really a struggle. Because when you sit high in your wealth and your prosperity, I said, as queen, I'm in need of nothing. You're naked, poor, and wretched. Our abundance comes from within. Like I said, there's two different types of wealth. There's one that can be given to you easily. Here you go. Do this. This is how you can get it. Here you go. But it will never last. It will be snatched away as quickly as it was given. And there's another type of wealth that will never be taken from you. Okay? And that comes along with a certain form of consciousness. Be aware of the clones. Hold on with everything that you have to your independent thinking and thought. It may save your life. Hold on to your creativity, your passion, your love, and your light. Identify patterns that you see spiritually. Oh, okay, that. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. Be careful of those that can tell you that you can accomplish great things but can't tell you how. It's a trap. Okay? It's time for mass off now. The agreeables, those of the light, excuse me, they try to close my throat chakra. Those of the light have went forth, okay? And they did their healing and their grace and their love and their peace, and they're trying very, very hard to save their brothers and sisters. And many of you did just that. Don't worry about what it looks like. You're doing your job and be proud of it, okay? You're carrying that energy. Pay attention to how you're affecting people around you. Are they glitching? Are they blurting out random stuff? You know, pay attention to that. But now we're kind of transitioning over, and the disagreeables are coming to clean up that which could not be salvaged. Mask off. For those that I may not ever see again, I still love you, and I'm still here, and you can still talk to me and all of that. But I've got to learn how to accept that many of us are in another realm altogether, and it's so hard to do. So hard to do. That's all. That's all I have to say right now. Be careful. Be careful of things around you. The energies are prevalent here. They're both agreeable and disagreeable. There are clones, that are going around. There's a lot of distraction to keep you off of your path. And if you are weak-minded, pray for strength. Pray to be more discerning. Meditate on these things. Pull everything that is positive from the cosmos into your being. The highest white light. The highest realm of love. Oh yeah, don't forget to have fun. That's important. Alright? I am Sophie. I love you all.